You know that Arnie phrase where he goes something like, the pump is like coming. Well, that's a mental thing to start a podcast with, but I'm going to start and explain why exactly that is the kind of mentality that you need to run your business to the next level. And this all came about with a client that I've got right now. Just literally, 8 minutes ago, finished up this call with him, and it perfectly exemplifies how we can grow as business owners, the steps we need to take, and this mental performance angle that I think way too many people are ignoring. It's like they've got the wrong idea about how to succeed in business and also to become the kind of business owner that you need to be to probably break from that comfortable financial threshold you're at right now into that bigger business, into from 6-figure to 7-figure or whatever your level of business growth is. So he's right now at this point where he is opening a business that is completely outside of his zone of expertise, his comfort zone right now. It's related, but it's a different business structure. It's a different product that he's selling. It's a different level of contribution from him. And it's a whole new level of risk too. Financial risk, personal risk, reputational risk. And it's really adding up right now. He is a week away, just over a week away from opening up this whole new product, to open up this whole new business. And it requires a lot of funding because it's an in-person business. There's complete fit out of a new facility, and there's a lot alongside it. And he's just feeling this pressure. In his words, he's down to his last few pounds, as in pounds financial, like dollars, not pounds of weight. He's not emaciated, but he's feeling that pressure, and I could feel it from the first moment he got on this call. And this weekend he's got a couple of social events, and he's just like, for the first time in years, he wants to go out and have more than a few drinks and just blow off steam. He's almost at this point where it's like, I can't handle this stress. I've got to get rid of it. I've got to blow off this steam because I don't think I can handle this pressure. And he's even started telling himself, well, the money doesn't mean anything to me. The cash doesn't mean anything to me. I don't even care whether this succeeds. But upon like further investigation, what we found is actually it really does matter to him. And that's a way of avoiding and not feeling that pressure. Like I said, he's under these massive cash flow constraints, and it's a big deal for him. Now, what we try and do typically when we're untrained is we try and avoid this stress. We try and avoid this pressure. We try and get away from it, either by telling ourselves we don't care about the outcome too much, or we try and distract ourselves through other ways of numbing the pain, through soothing the discomfort. But in order to grow, we have to learn to go toward that pain. We have to learn to love it. We have to, just like when Arnie says, the pump is like coming. Sorry for the double, firstly, rude thing to say, but secondly, terrible Arnie impression. The thing is, we have to learn to go towards it. But I'm guessing Schwarzenegger, when he started training, did not think the pump in his arms was like coming. He didn't love it that much. But through sets and reps and exposure and learning that going towards the difficult thing helps him succeed, he has conditioned that mentality. And what we know about everything, any kind of psychological technique worth its salt, is that you have to go towards the uncomfortable thing in order to make growth, in order to make progress as a human being. And this works in whatever kind of realm of mental performance you look at, whether it's in the depths of mental health and overcoming things like OCD through exposure therapy or trauma, or the EDMR, for example, makes you, in some cases, you'll go back into that memory, whether it's in ibogaine treatment for addiction problems, you go in and you live all the worst parts of your life. That is what helps you grow. That discomfort, that pain of re-encountering the difficulty is what helps you grow. And when we try and avoid that discomfort, that is what keeps us stuck, but it's also what stops us showing up as our best. It's what helps, it forces us into that pattern of self-sabotage. Like this guy, I want to go out and have more than a few drinks. Our job is to go towards it. And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, our job is to become anti-fragile. Right now, I use this analogy with this guy just on this call of like, the point his business and his life, because he's got a life outside of business too, where he's pushing fitness and all areas, is like a really heavy barbell, and he's just PR'd his lift and he's straining on that new load. It's like the bar is heavier than it's ever been, and it's no choice to put down the bar. It's no choice to try and distract himself. The way you get the result is by going towards the discomfort. It's by tolerating that pain. It's by enjoying that pain and learning to love not only the risk and the excitement, but also the ultimate fear. Because that, and this is something I said in the call as well, it's like, forgive me for being poetic, but that is the beauty of life. Learning to love the fear, the loss, the trauma, the pain. Like, that is what makes life beautiful. That's what makes life meaningful. And if you're doing anything remotely meaningful in your business, in your life at all, we have to learn to love the beauty of that painful emotion. It's what makes love. What makes love is it probably is. It probably is what makes love worthwhile. But it's also what makes life worthwhile. Having that depth of emotion. Nietzsche writes about this beauty. I'm not going to bore you with Nietzsche quotes, but what we know about any kind of growth is that it's only voluntary exposure toward it that helps you succeed. You can't keep running away from the pain of the decision making, the pain of your next level, the pain of actually being comfortable, which sometimes is what's needed with people. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. It seems like one of the truths, the undeniable truths of progress, of mental performance, which is you grow in direct proportion to the amount of uncomfortable emotion you're willing to tolerate. Right now, you can only tolerate a set amount of emotional discomfort, emotional pain. Your next level of growth requires you to tolerate it and actually learn to love that next level. Stop being scared of your emotional states. Start going toward them.